Everyone, welcome back. I wanted to show you an idea I came up with today because I do not have a lot of paint and I wanted to add a little color to my projects. So I picked up this white craft paint at Walmart for 50 cents and I just thought, I've got a lot of food coloring. I'm going to mix it up and see if I can make just some colors I can use, even if it's just to add, a little interest to the outside of my packages. So I did mix up already a pink. I used food color, just plain old Wilton. This is really old. I've had this for 15 years at least, something like that. And it's called, well, it just says pink. It's got something on there, I can't read it, Rosa. And I just wanted to add a little color and interest to some of my packages, and I came up with this cute little pink, and I wanted a light pink. It doesn't work really super great for stamping. I guess I have to play with that a little bit more because obviously I got too much paint in there and there, but I don't mind. It's, kind of a shabby chic thing, and I could dab it on, I don't know if you can see that very well. I could just dab it on to add just a little bit of color to this deli paper here, or scratch paper. But anyway, I want a better brown to ink my edges with until I can afford to pick up a stamp pad. So I'm just going to add some brown to this. I can always add more, so I'm just going to go with maybe a gob that big, because I don't want it super dark, but yeah, well, we'll go that big. It'll be brown, I hope. And I'm just going to stir it up because, the paint and the food coloring is both water soluble, so they should be okay together. And it looks like that white is really strong. So let's see what I come up with. Now, I definitely don't want one that light. So let me make sure I got it all in there good before I grab more brown. That's kind of a really, really pale brown, so we'll get a new stick out here and we'll just add some more. I'm sure you can use those other kind, the liquid ones, but this is what I have, and like I said, they are really old. I took up cake decorating. My kids are in their 30s. My daughter's going to be 37, and I took up decorating when they were pretty young, so it could be as close as 30 years ago since I use these. Let's see if we come up with any kind of a brown here that I'm going to like. I think I got globs in there, and I'm afraid if I keep adding it, it's going to be really, really dark. So let's stir that up really well. Kind of a darker beige color now. It worked well with the pink, maybe not so much with the brown. I also have blue and yellow I want to mix up, so, it's an experiment. It's things I have laying around the house, and a tiny, tiny little bit of paint, so doesn't hurt to try. Put in one more glob, and that's going to be a big glob, and that's where I'm going to leave it. If it doesn't work after that, I'm done with the brown for today, because I don't want to use it all up, because I have another experiment I want to try with hand sanitizer. I hear you can make a stamp pad with hand sanitizer, and I did that, but it turned out pretty light, so I'm going to re-ink the one I have with the brown. See if I can't get it a better color that I like. So, kind of has a funny brownish color. Looks more like a paper color than brown, so I would say the brown doesn't work quite as well as I would like it to. Oops. but it doesn't hurt to play, that's for sure. You never learn if you don't try, right? And maybe that's why my ink pad seems to be way too light. Maybe this brown has just kind of lost its pizzazz, or it was never dark enough. That was actually called SpongeBob Brown. And my husband and my granddaughter, who is now 15, when she was young, they watched SpongeBob when he was really sick all the time. Well, not so happy with that color. Could probably be nicer. It's kind of a, almost like a cement color. But it might be okay for the background on something, but I'll call that one kind of a disappointment for today. Well, I gotta try. I gotta try one more time. One more time of brown. I really think it'll work if I get it enough in there. So I'm gonna do one more glob. I won't waste it, that's for sure. I might, you know, cover a page and then decoupage over it if I don't like it. But I certainly won't waste it. And maybe it'll darken as it sits. I don't know. Because usually paint gets lighter, I believe, as it dries. So got a lot of brown in there. You think it should mix up a little better. I don't think it's mixing as well as I would like it to. But I don't think I'm going to get anywhere near a brown that I'm happy with. Maybe if I started with a darker color to begin with, it would work better. And, you know, I can always add just a tiny touch of black, which I will do, but I didn't grab that yet. So for right now, I'm not so happy with that. Brown is a funny color. Alright, so let me go grab the black. I'm going to see if that helps. Okay, this is a Wilton black. You know what this does help me, even if it's a, you know, almost a fail, is it helps me realize where I can concentrate on spending my money, because I'm on a very, very limited income, and I just can't start buying a bunch of things. So I hope that's not too much, but usually if you need a darker, richer color, you add a little bit of black. So let's try that. It could end up just being a weird black color, but wasn't really happy with the brown. And that didn't really seem to do a whole lot to darken it more brown. It just kind of made it more, I don't know what that color is. It's kind of like paste. I don't know. Strangest color I've ever seen, coming from brown and white. Expect to get a beige and you get this paste color. And I'm not wasting all these sticks, by the way. I do wash them off really well and dry them, and they work fine again. Oh, there we go. So, well, brown and white does not mix well food color wise, so I'm not going to call that something I want to keep. It'll get used. Maybe I'll just mix it with a whole lot of black and make something else. So a little bit of black didn't work. Let's add a lot and see how that changes it. Maybe it'll make something resembling a color I want to use. That was a pretty good size glob. Or it'll make it uglier. Who knows? There, kind of a smoky gray color. I kind of like that better. What do you think? I think I like that better than the other weird brown color. Although that's kind of a strange color too, but I still like it better than what it was. Kind of a gray now. There, I like the gray better than the weird brown anyway. Well, I could mix some more black in there. I'm not going to play with this one any longer. So that's a semi-okay color. It's a nice gray color anyway. I just think the brown wasn't enough. And now that shows me why it did not work in my handmade stamp, because the brown just didn't work very well. So Take a squirt of white. And I like these little ones because, you know, this really goes a long way. And this is a royal blue color, if I can get it open. Again, the Wilton Food Coloring. When I took up cake decorating years ago, we got this huge kit with a coupon, and I think it was only $20 back when, and you got the classes for free. And that really helped me out because I made birthday cakes and wedding cakes, all of my kids' wedding cakes, and oh, now see, the blue mixes up really pretty. So it never hurt me to take those classes. I really enjoy cake decorating. My problem is my hands. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and it bothers my hands to do the flowers a lot because you have to squeeze the bags and that. And it's just a little more difficult. So I more concentrate on just making my grandkids and my family's birthday cakes now. Now see, the white and the blue mixed up really nice together. I like that color. So it must just be the brown that's a difficult color to obtain. So now I know I won't be messing with the brown. I will buy myself at least one brown stamp pad so I can edge my papers. Let's see how that blue turned out. And that's pretty. If I want it darker, I can always add more, but I'm happy with that. So let's see how we use it. Where did I put my sponges here? I bought this huge pack of makeup sponges at the Dollar Tree, and I don't know how many's in there. There's a lot of them in there, so I can use them for a long time. And let's see, I got a little bag here. I'm going to try to, oops, did I mix some of that ugly color in there? Put a little dot here. And I realize you really don't have to use much, so separate that out. Let's try and see how it's going to work. I think I got to get this inked up a little bit here first. See, because I'm going to be doing a lot of vintage stuff, I like to keep my colors a little bit on the more soft pastel. So if this doesn't work on, you know, these as much, I can always add some more color to it. But I think this is going to be fine for what I want it for. Yes, would I like to have the other fancy inks? I sure would, but budget dictates. You come up with your own and make it work. It's probably a little wetter. I have to be careful not to smear as much. I like to add a little extra to my corners. Probably should have done the top first. Now this little notch here at the top, I just hand cut that. I don't have a round punch. That's another thing on my wish list. It would make it a lot easier, but you make do. So not as neat and pretty as it could be, but it's what I got. I got scissors and I got a circle stencil, and I found in my junk drawer. So it'll make it work. Oh, I don't think I have that in view, darn it. Sorry guys, I didn't have that in a very good view for you. But there's a nice pretty soft blue color. And I'm happy with that because I like the very subtle colors. Let's see, get that a little bit there for you. I hope you can see that. It's just a very subtle, soft blue that I can ink my edges with. Here's when I inked up in the pink earlier. And let's call this a baby. My baby steps, I can pretend. I'm having a new grandbaby, so one of the reasons I took to making junk journals, I want to make the new baby a baby book. And every year I look for something different to give my grandchildren for Christmas. I've made them quilts. This year I made them a Lego table that I painted and did a little minor construction on, which is in one of my other videos if you want to see that. And I want to make them all a scrapbook this year, I think, or a journal. The 15-year-old, she can journal. The other ones can put pictures and stuff like that in there. Let me try something here. Don't know if I'm getting in frame very well for you guys, but right now I'm just playing around a little bit, seeing if I can make them work a little easier for me. Do I need to put them down on something? Gives me a nice edge, that's for sure. The paint does dry a lot faster, I see, so I think if I have a little water dish next to me or a wet paper towel, that would help. Let's go get one of those and see if that works better. Okay, I grabbed a wet paper towel so I can dab my... Oh yeah, that works pretty good. I can dab my sponge on it and keep my paint a little bit wetter because it does dry up pretty quick. It is acrylics after all, and they dry pretty darn quick. So there we go. I got some blue, and I got some pink, and they're nice, soft. Oop, I got a big blob of blue on the corner because I didn't close it like I should have. That's one thing you don't want to do. Is the one thing with working with food colors and me, I don't know, I probably told you guys 100 times, I'm really messy, and no matter how hard I try in baking and everything I do, I'm just really messy. And it is what it is, and you know, that's me. You get the idea. You know, I made some inexpensive, pretty paint colors for 50 cents and some old food colors that I had laying around the house for close to 20 years. So I'm okay with that. What do you think? Do you think I need to add a little bit more blue to that? I'm not sure. I do like the soft color. I think I'm going to find a vintage tag out of my book. And let's see. I found some free online tags to print out. So I printed some out to play around with. And, oh, let me see. I want to tell you who this is because it's a really nice little website that I found some cute tags on. It's called Birdie Ephemera Tags. Ephemera Vintage. Oh, darn. I'll have to look up the rest of this. And if I can find it, I'll let you know what it's called. Because I want to give that person credit for what they did, because they have some really cute little tags and different pieces of ephemera you can print out for free. And, you know, somebody nice enough to give that stuff away for free is wonderful. So let's see. I'm afraid to use this with the... Oh, I don't know how I got such dark ink on it, but... Well, all I could do is say I don't like it and redo it, right? Let's see. A little wetter than the stamp pads, I think. Quite a bit wetter, so you have to be careful not to overdo. But it dries extremely fast, so that's a good thing. I do like the more vintage looking like browns and stuff, but I'm having a hard time obviously getting that color. So now I know that that's one ink pad that I need to order because I just can't quite figure out a brown that I like. And if you guys have a recommendation, you know, I know there's like antique or vintage photo, and there's a mahogany and colors like that. Do you have a brand that works out best? I'd like to know, so when I make a purchase, I make a good informed purchase, and since I'm only going to be able to get one, that I can choose, you know, the best quality and color that works out best, because I'm doing my primary focus is I have a lot of vintage recipes and such from the World War II, and my goal is to make a nice journal for myself with that in it. So if you guys can help me out with a good color, I would appreciate it. So, well, there. Added a little bit of something to the corners. Might not be perfect. but it works out okay for me. And this is uninked, so yeah, I could see a difference. Subtle little difference around the edges, and that's okay for me. I'm happy with that. So anyway, if you guys are like me and you're on a tight budget, think about trying and playing with a little 50 cent. And I hardly used any of this. It's probably still got that much gone out of it, and I have that much left out of 2 ounces. These are not even a ½ ounce each, so I think they're working out okay for playing around with them, adding just a little bit of color to my journals.